Hi everyone, I'm Dawn. I'm your astrologer and I'm here to talk to you about the Scorpio New Moon. We are in Scorpio season, and on November the 4th, the moon joins the sun at 12 degrees and creates the new lunar cycle, a time to set our new intentions. And these intentions are super important because they set the tone for the energy that will play out for the rest of this year. What is happening is this is giving us a prelude to the upcoming year in January, when the nodal axis shifts into the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. And so this is opening our eclipse window. We will have all of our eclipses in the signs of Taurus and Scorpio during 2022. And this is really the opening and the initiating of that energy. Also, on November the 19th, we have the full moon partial lunar eclipse in Taurus. And Taurus has not had an eclipse since 2014. And so this is really exciting energy. We are shifting out of Gemini and Sagittarius into the signs, the axis of what I have on a deep personal level and how I share that with others. And so Scorpio really revolves around the 8th house themes. These are the shadow side, the parts that we don't like to talk about in the light of day. And this is a time when we are doing that deep diving. We are probing for the hidden truth, that thing that we suppress, those things that we really don't like to face. Maybe some of those hard truths are coming to light. And Mars, which is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, moved into its home of ancient domicile, moved into Scorpio on the 30th, right before this new moon. And Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio, stationed direct not too long ago in the sign of Capricorn. And so this is very exciting energy for really delving for the hidden truth within us. And we will see that come to light in many ways. Now that Mars has moved into its home sign, it's in really strong position. This is a fixed water sign, and still waters run deep. Mars is there, and it is ready to work hard to purge that truth to the surface in order to set us free. The truth always sets us free. We will get some help from Uranus in this opposition. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus at 12 degrees in exact opposition to the new moon. And it's less than 5 minutes of being exact. This is very potent and potentially volatile energy. Just know that anything that comes to light, anything that shakes us from that place that we've been stuck, is ultimately to shift us into our future trajectory. It is to align us, to put us in a place where we can step in to our future destiny, because the energy of the nodes are at play here. This is the foreshadowing of the upcoming eclipse season, the next 18 months in 2022. And so Uranian energy can be shocking and volatile. It can be disruptive, yet Uranus really represents the higher cosmic truth. It is our ability to tap into our higher consciousness, to tap into our intuition, to really see the truth with piercing insight, no matter how difficult that may be. This could be a great time to heal those hidden parts within us and get to that point where we can finally set the intention to break free from those fears, those emotions, all of those dark, lower vibrational scorpionic energies that have held us back from moving forward into our destiny, into the future that we want to create, operating from a place of truth. Now, Mars has moved into Scorpio, and just a day after the new moon, Venus, the counterpart of Mars, the divine feminine to the divine masculine, the cosmic lovers, Venus will move into the sign of Capricorn, where Pluto is. And this is really huge because Venus will be there for an extended amount of time. And this happens right in the wake of the new moon energy. Venus rules our values. Venus rules Taurus, and that is where Uranus sits. And so with Venus moving into Capricorn, we're really going to see that shift come quickly, where we're ready to get down to business. We're ready to do the work to operate in our truth in a practical presentation, for it to materialize in our everyday lives and the work that we do in our jobs, in our relationships, and creating abundance for ourselves. And with Pluto now stationing direct, our power comes more easily. Pluto purges our power. And Venus showing up in Capricorn allows us to align with those values. And so what we're going to see is that the intentions that we set now, no matter how difficult it is to move through those spheres, we have that help from Mars in his home sign in Scorpio, Venus moving into Capricorn with Pluto, and Uranus with that disruptive energy shaking us where we need to be shaken loose. And so we're really getting a lot of support from the universe, even though it feels a little bit chaotic. It is probably what many of us need to get the ball rolling, to move forward in some action that operates from a place of power as opposed to a place of fear. And so that really is the ideal intention for this new moon, this new lunar cycle, is to move past the fears, to face the shadow, to honor it, to learn from it, and let it empower us so that we can really get in that mindset, so that when we move into next year, we're already familiar with operating in the power of truth and expressing it in a material, practical, tangible way in our everyday lives. This is a time when we will really be examining our values, heart and mind, coming together, because Mercury, the planet that rules our ability to receive messages in our mind and communicate them, Mercury moves into Scorpio, leaves Libra, and joins Mars and the Sun and the Moon on the 5th, the day after, the same day that Venus moves into Capricorn. So heart, mind, and action really on board here to plow through the tough issues and operate in a place of power, operating in a place of truth, ultimately setting us free. And it will not be an easy road. We will definitely meet with some opposition as we have this ongoing T-square between Uranus and Taurus to Saturn in Aquarius. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn can represent the restrictions, the authority, the rules, the suppression. And so we're learning how to break down some old systems and break through in a new way to make some progress. Now, Saturn in Aquarius, in my opinion, has shifted into an energy that wants us to master ourselves and step into a skill set that will support us for the long haul. It can strengthen the structures in our lives to help us feel more stable and more steadfast in our momentum as we move forward, knowing that we're working for something lasting for the long haul, even if we're not quite sure what that picture is. Now, Mercury leaves shadow after retrograde, finally, on the 2nd, 2 days before this new moon. And then on the 5th, the day after the new moon, moves into Scorpio. This is great news because Mercury allows us to analyze and think about our action. With Mars in Scorpio digging for the hidden truth and really ready to take action, you know, Mars is the god of war. It's very impassioned. This could come out a little sideways, especially with that Uranian energy causing that like shocking voltage of truth bubbling to the surface. So I really believe that we could lean on that mercurial energy to kind of think before acting, to think it through. You know, Mercury just spent a long retrograde time in Libra, that harmonious, balanced, beautiful sign, also ruled by Venus. And so really it's important for us to think before speaking, to examine our actions before carrying them out, to see if they are in alignment with our values, and if we are willing to move through from a place of harmony to the best of our ability, yet still stand in our own power. And so this is a super intense time. It's difficult on many levels because Scorpio does rule, you know, that underneath part. Pluto is the ruler of the underworld. It is the archetypal life, death, rebirth. But this can be a time where we can tap into that ability to really to transform from our own power, to alchemize our own energy and outcome by facing our own shadow, facing those parts of us that create fear, and moving through that. Mars will give us that momentum, that ability to move through the fears by facing them, not skipping over them, not spiritually bypassing, but transmuting the dark into light. And, you know, this gives us an opportunity to operate in our own power, but also to the best of our ability, allow others to operate in their own power as well, according to their own values. I know my granny used to always say to me, Dawn, those are your values. You can't expect other people to operate according to your values. And so this is a time where that's really our only job and our only intention is to face the fears, face the darker issues, and try not to let them come out in those shadowy expressions like resentments and jealousy and power struggles, but to really just keep our side of the street clean, especially with Mercury showing up the day after and Mars there. It's a time when we really want to you know, choose our words wisely. Make sure that we're not projecting our own shadow onto others in our lives, because we are getting ready to move into a new year where we will have these eclipses occurring on that Scorpio Taurus axis. And this could be a wonderful time for us to really come up with some ways to practically improve our everyday lives by operating in that mystical ability to trust our intuition, to let it guide us through the dark. To give us piercing insight and to trust that what we're sensing is leading us in the right direction. And so I hope that this has given you an optimistic view, a realistic view of how to set the intentions with the energy, all of the energies at play, and really prepare us to finish out the rest of this year, clear out those things that are no longer in alignment with our values, are not in alignment with our personal truth, and are holding us back from stepping into the highest expression of who we really are.